So Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose have both reported to be on the trade block for the New York Knicks, and I think the Dallas Mavericks could be a team that can capitalize on both these players, as I think both of them could be I would say pretty amazing on the Dallas Mavericks, as the Mavericks don't really have too many players that are talented like Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose. So we're going to talk about Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose to the Dallas Mavericks, what it could look like, and some breakdowns of why they would work on the Dallas Mavericks. So what's up? My name is JDC. If you like what you see, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. And let's just get right into it. We'll start off with Cam Reddish. So over the season, 8 points per game, around 1.6 rebounds per game, and around 1 assist. In around 22 minutes per game on 45% from the field and 30% from three. So Cam Reddish, I mean, they get a proven role player in Cam Reddish, who I think could be someone that can show a lot of potential. Obviously, on the Knicks, he hasn't been able to get a lot of run. As of right now, he is out of the rotation because of Tibbs, but regardless, he did show some flashes before going down with a groin injury a couple weeks ago, so I think he could be a pretty okay player for the Dallas Mavericks. He could slot into the starting small forward position, someone that can give them great three-point shooting, some great on-ball defense, and overall, he gives them some good minutes on defense. Now, looking at his stats, I mean, 8 points, 1.5 rebounds, and 1 assist in 22 minutes per game isn't really that good, but looking at what Tibbs has done with him on the roster, I mean, you can just pretty much tell that Tibbs wants to run he wants to run all of his guys that he trusts, like Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, and, with Cam Reddish, a guy that basically came in, last trade deadline from last season. I mean, he's not going to trust him, so, they could look to move him alongside Derrick Rose, kind of free up some more salaries, free up some more money for the offseason. And, pairing him alongside Derrick Rose or potentially Emmanuel Quickly, I think we could definitely see a trade with the Dallas Mavericks. So the reason I want Cam Reddish on this team is that the Dallas Mavericks, they can buy low on Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose. Both of them, I think, don't really have too much trade value at the moment, and I think they could definitely prosper on the Dallas Mavericks. Cam Reddish being in the starting small forward spot for the Dallas Mavericks could definitely give the offense some more shooters that can, spot up and shoot. With Luka Doncic creating a lot of gravity, I mean, you have guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, guys like Cam Reddish, guys like Dorian Finney-Smith who can stretch the floor. And with Cam Reddish, I mean, he is around 6'8", 217 pounds. Gives him some good length at the small forward position because, I think Reggie Bullock has been the starting small forward for the Dallas Mavericks. And, Bullock, he isn't really that much of a great three-point shooter. I mean, he's basically been pretty lackluster this season, only averaging 5 points and 3 rebounds. So I think replacing him with Cam Reddish, who is 23 years old, so they can either look to trade Cam Reddish or keep him off the bench, whatever they decide to do. I think he could be a pretty valuable piece for this Dallas Mavericks team. Like I said, he is 23 years old, so he has a lot of potential and a lot of upside to him, and I think he can develop into a good 3-and-D player depending on how the Dallas Mavericks can develop him. So we'll look over at Derrick Rose. So I think Derrick Rose on the Dallas Mavericks could also be very good. They did sign Kemba Walker around a week ago, 2 weeks ago when I'm recording this, so it could be difficult to see who plays over who, but I think, Derrick Rose being a proven point guard and him still being in the league as of right now and still playing some NBA games compared to Kemba Walker, I think Derrick Rose could definitely be the backup point guard for this team instead of Kemba Walker. So Derrick Rose, we'll look at his stats overall. I mean, he hasn't been getting a lot of run, and due to that is because guys like Emmanuel Quickly off the bench have been getting some more run. So Derrick Rose over the season, he's actually averaging only 6 points per game, around 2 rebounds and around 2 assists on around 13 minutes per game on 40% from the field and 35% from three. So Derrick Rose, he isn't getting a lot of run anymore, and, with Emmanuel Quickly on the team, and probably for the foreseeable future, I think Derrick Rose could definitely be on the way out alongside Cam Reddish. And, with the Dallas Mavericks wanting to contend right now, especially, with Luka Doncic and Christian Wood, we need to bring in some more guys that are proven, and, guys like Derrick Rose could definitely help that with the winning on the Dallas Mavericks. So it gives them another playmaker off the bench with Derrick Rose. I mean, he's a guy that has been proven to be a good playmaker and someone that can run the offense. Especially, with the Dallas Mavericks, they don't really have a guy that can initiate the offense off the bench. We had guys like Josh Green and Tim Hardaway Jr. Both guys aren't really guards and someone that can basically run the offense. So have Derrick Rose off the bench, someone that can initiate the offense, run some pick and rolls with guys like Christian Wood or JaVale McGee. And I think we're talking about probably, I wouldn't say a contender for the sixth man of the year, but someone that can be pretty valuable off the bench depending on if the Dallas Mavericks can use him right. So the only downside to any of these players is that Cam Reddish might not pan out into, the expectation that most of us had of him with the Atlanta Hawks. And for majority of the reason, I think he hasn't panned out yet. I think that he needs a chance. With the Atlanta Hawks, he was playing behind guys like DeAndre Hunter, guys like John Collins. With the New York Knicks, he basically played behind Kemba Walker and guys like Julius Randle. It's pretty unfortunate for Cam Reddish. I think if he was in more of a different, I would say, yeah, more of a different situation, kind of like the Lakers or the Mavericks, he definitely would get a lot more run and a lot more development. We'll see. He is only 23 years old, so he could get some more run. Derrick Rose being 34 years old gives him some veteran experience, obviously being in the playoffs a lot in his career. So we'll see what happens. That's the video. My name is JDC, and my peace.